Welcome back to American Warrior Radio right here on the Talk to Me station, AM 1300 WMEL. Thanks for staying tuned, folks. We got a lot more to bring you today. So again, keep that pencil and paper handy and, fill up that coffee cup, reheat it. Glenn, you wanted to finish up with the Space Coast Community Law School.
Yeah, we want to remind you, we forgot to tell you in the excitement of bringing the class information to you.
Because it's free.
It's free. First off, it's at 6 o'clock, 1800, 6 p.m. for those who don't know what 1800 is. That's military time. And it's in the jury assembly room. And I would encourage you to maybe come a little bit early because to get into the courthouse, you got to go through security.
Yes, you do.
And don't bring your penny collection in your pockets and that kind of stuff.
And don't bring your concealed weapon.
Yeah, and don't bring a knife or any of that kind of stuff.
They
You'll
will
get through a lot
confiscate it.
quicker.
Yep.
Otherwise, they'll confiscate it. That's right.
What about the phone number again, real quick?
Okay, the phone number is 269-6833. 321-269-6833.
Or you can go to the website, sccls.com. It shows you the schedule. You can register there, and it's important to do so just for planning purposes on their part.
Yeah, well, there's a restricted number of people that can attend, so you need to register.
And some of these classes are going to be maxed out, particularly, well, maybe even this one, who knows, but the gun control one coming up on March 28th, and we'll cover these as we go through the month. But I want to hit on something else. As you're out and about, whether you're at your 7-Eleven or some convenience store, grocery store, wherever, if you see a copy of the Coastal Angler, I want you to pick one up. This month in particular. There are over 500,000 of these copies distributed nationwide. They are free. F-R-E, our favorite
word.
That's right.
Free.
This is a free magazine packed with information. The March one has a beautiful picture of a big old snook. I'm guessing it was taken somewhere here locally because this is the Brevard edition of it.
Yeah, it looks like the Indian River from the background.
I think you may be right, but it's just a gorgeous fish. Well, guess what? When you get your free copy of the Coastal Angler, you're going to find Anglers for Conservation, which here's a little tidbit for you. Coming up next week on American Warrior Radio, we've got a live interview with one of the founders of Anglers for Conservation, Rodney Smith, and maybe his good buddy and fellow board member Warren will stop in as well. But listen to American Warrior Radio next Saturday to learn some exciting news about a free Veterans Fishing Day that's sponsored by Anglers for Conservation and all their supporters, which of course AVET Project is one of them. It's learning about fishing. We'll go over it next week, but I want to prime you because it's coming up on March 27th.
Yeah, which is pretty quick if you think about it. Every time I look up, it's 2 weeks later than I thought it was.
It's going to happen real soon. Well, you get your free copy of the Coastal Angler, flip to the middle section, open it up. You're going to see an ad for AVET Project. We thank them so much for helping us get this ad in there. This little insert is all about organizations and companies that are supporting our vets, and it's a free fishing clinic. Stay tuned next week because we're going to have a live interview with the founders of Anglers for Conservation. So, big topic of the day, Glenn.
Yeah, there's a lot of information going around, unfortunately, fueled by probably lots of discussion on treatment issues for post-traumatic stress disorder for our troops who, unfortunately, many times have been deployed multiple times to war zones. And yes, that is a real problem, but no, it's not representative of all the troops. We're talking about, again, reminder, the cream of the crop of America's youth are in the military. They volunteered to be in the military. They got accepted because of the cream of the crop. We want to overcome these wrong profiles, these wrong stereotypes people may have, employers particularly may have, about veterans and being reluctant to hire them because of hearing some news about some that unfortunately are afflicted with some mental health issues.
And those numbers, again, just this is kind of out there. They're saying that as many as 1 in 5 vets may have symptoms. That doesn't mean they have the diagnosis or are suffering from it, but they may have symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, which is a high number. But guess what? That leaves 4 out of 5 that don't.
Yeah, and being, and having the symptoms doesn't mean you're 100% disabled and unable to function in society.
Exactly.
You may be 10% disabled, which is minor in the rating guide as to what the criteria is and so forth. And that doesn't mean they're not equipped with these reasons we're going to go over with you to hire a veteran. These are the positive reasons you would hire a veteran. Any employer would be thrilled to get a person and applicant that has all these, and every veteran you're going to see, dadgum near every veteran you're going to see, has these attributes.
And I want to mention that this list that we're going to go over was compiled by MOA.
Yeah, Military Officers Association of America, and they did this in conjunction with a community blueprint they sponsored a couple, 3 weeks ago to get the ball rolling, to get all the agencies together, help agencies to help veterans with their transition back to civilian life. And of course, a big part of that is getting a job, getting employed.
A huge part of it, really.
Well, yeah, huge is a better word.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So we'll start here for you. These are reasons you should hire a veteran. You should be thrilled to find somebody with all these. First one is ethics and value-based leadership.
What does that mean?
Well, they're having toned into them through their training in the military and their operations in the military that they have ethics, that they have values, that they don't do the wrong thing, that they can even challenge things that seem to be wrong. You don't go out and just shoot people to shoot people. You have to have a reason for every action that you take, and you have a value-based approach to things. You know what's right and wrong. You act accordingly, and
you do the right thing for the right reason.
You've had experience with this.
Of course.
That's the deal. That's the deal.
Yeah, and that begins at boot camp.
Yeah, which leads right into they know they're accountable for their own actions.
Which is,
they're not going to try and lay it all. Yeah, but I did it because so and so. I saw it on television, or
sure,
all those other things you hear people lay off reasons why they are not taking accountability for their own actions. And I think that's a big deal for an employer.
So item number 2 is they're accountable for their actions, and I think that's an excellent point, Glenn, especially in politics. It's all about kicking the can down the road, passing the buck, pointing the finger, not our military members. These guys and gals, if they do something, they do it for the right reason, and hopefully the outcome's great. If something happens that's adverse or wrong, they're going to stand up and be accountable for it.
That's right, but they're willing to say my bad and also willing to learn how to make it right.
Exactly. So that's item number 2. What about a third item on the reason to hire veterans?
Well, here is a key thing every employer would want, and that's unrivaled team orientation. I mean, people coming out of the military are more oriented towards being a team player than anybody in America. I challenge anybody in America to be more team oriented than veterans. I mean, they know to look out for their buddies, if you will. They know you've got to work as a team. They know nobody's a superstar. Everybody gets together and gets the job done and stays safe for everybody. So safety is not on this list, but that should be added to this list.
And we're probably preaching to the choir in large part. If you are listening to American Warrior Radio and you've never been in the military, maybe you're not familiar with the cohesiveness, they call it esprit de corps, where the entire team concept is applied on the simplest of tasks. Everybody's integral. There is no king of the mountain. Yes, there's hierarchy and there's leadership. Chain of command. Thank you. But when it comes to working as a team, you're not going to find people more inclined to sign on to that than our active duty veterans that are getting out.
And be concerned about their fellow teammates, not just themselves.
Exactly. So what's the next item?
Okay, and they learn to be creative problem solvers. That was easy for me to say.
Yeah.
Creative problem solvers. They learn to create solutions on the fly because they don't have a time to sit down sometimes and work through a team meeting and say what's the best way to approach this. And well, you just especially if you're in a war zone, you don't have time to do all that. You got to say, okay, here's the problem, here's the issue. We got to do this to solve this. We got to do this right now. We got to be creative.
And an example of that, if you're watching television, tune to, I think it's the Weather Channel, for Coast Guard Florida. They have Coast Guard Alaska. Well, they've got now Coast Guard Florida. We'd love to have them come up here and cover Commander Perry's unit here at Port Canaveral. But if you watch it, you're going to see just that, how they are creative in solving problems out there on the water, on the fly. And it's amazing. And it's something that you may not find in regular corporate, workplace.
Exactly. And, solving the problem on the fly is very, very important. It's, as opposed to, well, I don't know what to do, so let's back off and quit for now and think about it.
They got to solve it now,
yeah,
and they do it.
It may be vital for a corporation to have that problem solved on the fly. You may be in the middle of a sales presentation. You get some kind of a question that you weren't prepared for. That happens all the time in presentations. And you find a solution and you present it on the fly, so to speak.
So if you're listening to this and you're making some notes and somebody asks, why should I hire a veteran? Here's the reasons you can tell them why they should hire veterans. What's the next item, Glenn?
Okay, they have a bias towards action as opposed to inaction, as I was just talking about.
So they're motivated to act versus passing the buck.
Yeah, and they're motivated to get the job done. Let's do something. Let's get it done. Most veterans I know that are in the workforce get bored real easy if there's nothing going on. That's why I love my job. I never get bored.
You don't have time to get bored. So they are people of action. What's another trait? Why companies should hire a veteran?
Well, again, and this is kind of intertwined with something we talked about already, and that's adapt quickly to ambiguous situations. Ambiguous, what does that mean? That means, okay, here's the situation going on. What's it all about? Not sure what's causing it. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not sure where it's going. Got to adapt quickly and find a solution for that.
And veterans are geared, they're taught, they're trained how to handle that.
That's right. And they're trained not to be afraid to go ahead and take some action and do that. And we had a class about 2 months ago in the county similar to this, and one of the problems is people, they see a problem and they walk around it, they back off from it, they don't look at it, they don't talk about it, maybe I won't be involved. So that's not a veteran.
Veteran is going to attack it. He or she's going to set a goal, define what the goal is, set it, and then achieve the result that you want. So another reason to hire veterans, Glenn.
Yeah, multicultural experience.
And this is a big thing.
That's a big deal. I mean, corporations now are involved worldwide with their product delivery and their workforce, and
that's a good word because it is a worldwide marketplace now.
It's a worldwide business marketplace, exactly. And multicultural experience. You've already got somebody that's used to dealing with people from other countries that have foreign languages, foreign traditions, and so forth. They know to be respectful of that. They know how to interact with people who are not Americans. They know how to interact with people of all ethnicities. You get that right out of the gun. You don't have, there's no training required. You don't, and if you do have to do a little training because you're sending the person maybe to a country they haven't been to, they're going to be very adaptable at taking that training in and learning it real quick because they've already had similar experiences.
Exactly. And the military, just as the nation, United States of America, is a melting pot, so is our military. There's all kinds of races, creeds, nationalities, religions right there in the military. So they have experience, even if they never travel to a foreign country, they've got a wealth of experience just dealing with the folks in their own command.
Oh, absolutely. And then going on, they have world-class training and transferable skills.
That's a real reason to hire a vet there.
Yeah, and all of these things we're talking about, those are transferable skills. Transferable, what do we mean by that? Transferable from their time in the military to your corporation or business.
Good point.
To make it better, and they will make you better.
And we will talk about that in a moment here regarding some websites where you can actually enter your MOS or your AFSC and have them correlated to what the marketplace out here considers those skills to be. But what's another item on this? We got transferable skills. This is an important one, this next one.
Yeah, very important, I should think, to businesses, corporations, any potential employer, and that's unrivaled loyalty. They know how to be loyal. They know it's not acceptable to be against the company policies, the corporate policies, whatever they may be, and they're going to stick by you. They're loyal, and they know the value of being loyal. They know how that affects positive teamwork. And I know as an employer, you would know that that's the kind of people I want. I don't want people going out and drinking beer at night after they're through work, talking bad about the company that they work for. That's not on.
Exactly, and you know what? If you're around Patrick Air Force Base at 5 p.m., and you're driving your car, you're walking on the sidewalk, all of a sudden the loudspeaker will come on and the national anthem will play. Boom, everybody stops. They stop their car, they stop themselves, they put their hand on their heart or they salute as the national anthem plays. If you're watching a sporting event and you look on the sidelines as the national anthem is playing, I'd say a good 50% of the players are sitting there, jiving around. They don't even have the consciousness of country to put their hand over their heart and recognize loyalty for this country for having this awesome opportunity to make millions of dollars playing a game. Our military men and women are loyal to the end. That's something you can count on with them.
That's right, and that's a lifelong loyalty, not just a little time loyalty. And then finally, and here's another great trait, no tolerance for failure. We're not going to fail. We're going to get this done. We're going to get it done the way it should be done and get it done the way, put it in civilian terms, the way the company or the corporation needs it done.
So you're going to find reasons to hire veterans, ethics and value-based leadership.
Yep, who are accountable for their actions. They have personal accountability. And, we've covered these reasons. Those are great reasons. We want you to help be spokesman for the positive reasons to hire a veteran out there. If you're an employer, take it in and use it to hire veterans. And there's a couple places our veterans can go to here on some websites that you have over there, I think.
For sure. I just wanted, you got ethics and value-based leadership if you're taking notes. Anybody asks, why should I hire a veteran? Accountable for their actions. Unrivaled team orientation. Creative problem solvers. Bias towards action, not inaction. They will adapt quickly to any situation. They've got multicultural experience. They've received world-class training with transferable skills. They have unrivaled loyalty to your company, because they sure as heck did for their country.
Absolutely.
And they do not tolerate failure. It's all about succeeding in the military.
You bet.
So how would you not want that as an employer? Those are some really hot items as to why you should hire a vet.
Yeah, you might have to hire 3 people to equal 1 vet with all those traits.
That's a fact. And for everybody here in Florida, if you're running a small business, less than 50 employees, or a big business, over 50 employees, if you want some honest-to-goodness, qualified men and women with integrity to hold down your fort, learn and grow your business, you want to hire vets. If you're one of those businesses, you can go to myflorida.com. myflorida.com. Click on the tab there, which is the Veterans Portal. Now, on the other side of that, Glenn, if they're a veteran, what can they do again? By going to that website, they can input their...
They can input their MOS, it's called in the Army, Military Occupational Specialty. In the Air Force, it's an Air Force Specialty Code. In the Navy and Marines, I think it's called a rating, but it's the code for the type of job they've done in the military, and they input that, and it's going to translate that into what are civilian jobs that are related to that.
Which can help give them a sense of what they want to target their job search efforts for. Conversely, if you're an employer, you can look for those people as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're out there, so we want you to take advantage of that, whether you're a veteran looking for work or an employer looking to hire veterans, because I know there's other incentives, both state and federal, for businesses to hire vets.
Yeah, that Hire Our Heroes program can provide some financial incentive to potential employers for the first couple of years that the veteran works for you to cover some initial training costs and those kind of things that you're not going to get hiring anybody else. So there's financial incentives, and there's the reasons we've covered for you to hire a veteran. Why would you hire anybody else? Hire a veteran.
That's a fact, and I want to share. We talked about what Florida's effort is online to try and steer veterans to good employers and employers to good vets. In other states, just like in Oregon, they have the same situation. They've even got it now where you can pull it up on your smartphone. WorkSource Oregon's new website will allow the military veterans to search job openings just as they do here in Florida. And I'm going to guess, even though I don't know this, I'm going to guess that many, many other states are doing the same thing to try and encourage vets to get plugged in with employers that want to hire honest to goodness good workers that are loyal and faithful and have integrity, and vice versa. So check, if you're listening to American Warrior Radio in Vermont or Minnesota, just Google it, okay? Hire vets in Minnesota. Google it and you'll see what kind of resources are available there.
Yeah, and I know many states have initiated programs to put incentives in the marketplace, if you will, to hire veterans. I see emails on it all the time while I'm at work. So search it out, find it, get those things to help you gain a gainful employed job that you want and the employer wants you.
Exactly. Now, before I get to a list, and this is an important list of items of, well, events and outreach the AVET project has coming up, and there's a bunch of them, and we need your help.
A ton.
Before we get to it, I want to ask you, Glenn, in your office, you and two other service officers, you're the supervisor, you have some work studies. Explain that program and how can vets that are out there going to school get engaged with that?
It's a work study program that the VA runs as an offshoot of its education program. Actually, it's considered an education benefit. If you're a veteran going to school under one of the GI Bills and you're going to school rated at 3/4 or full time in school, or you're the spouse of a 100% permanent and total veteran or a veteran who died from service-connected disabilities, you can enter this program. We have a couple right now helping us out, which is wonderful. It keeps us going. And you can also work at the VA clinic. You can work at the Veterans Memorial Center down in Merritt Island behind the Merritt Square Mall. There are job opportunities in our local area. I believe you can even work for the workforce people who are helping our veterans get jobs that we've been talking about all of this second half. And it's a great program. You apply with a simple application form. Well, first you better go find yourself a position before you bother to apply.
Sure.
And that's by like asking people like me or asking the people running the Merritt Island Veterans Center or directly over at the VA clinic. So there are job opportunities for that. It pays minimum wage, but there are no taxes because it's called a
work study
education benefit, and therefore not taxable. It's an education benny. And so right now $7.25 is the minimum wage in Florida, but if you factor that for just a 20% tax rate, that's $9 something an hour, and that's not too bad, and it's not going to affect your taxes, and you can help learn some valuable skills yourself in the
helping
vets in the workplace.
For sure. I want to mention, you probably heard some of the advertisements here on AM 1300 WMEL for the Jewish Festival taking place tomorrow in Melbourne. Okay, it's at the not the Armory, it's the Event Center Auditorium. You want to check it out, the Jewish Festival. It's a great time. AVET Project is going to be there. We're going to have a fun time. Come by and see us. Let me cover some of the other items. That's on March 3rd. This is stuff coming up. The Military Affairs Council with the 715th MP Company, March 20th. We've got the 715th breakfast coming up on the 23rd. Military Kids Easter. We need help with this, folks. This is March 23rd at Patrick Air Force Base. The Easter thing takes place off base and behind the center there. If you want to find out information about this, and folks, when I say we need help, I'm serious here. You got to go to avetproject.org. That's the website. Click on the donate button. You get a tax-deductible donation for this. We need your help because these people deserve our help. We've got to make it happen for them. Military Kids Easter Festival is going to be over 300 kids there. We need all kinds of things. Check it out on the website.
We need lots of eggs.
We need lots of eggs and chocolate bunnies and all this kind of stuff. If all you can donate is money, that's great. If you have a donation, after you check stuff out on the website and you want to get it to us, bring it to WMEL Studios. They'll happily take it and we'll pick it up from there. I'll cover a lot more of the events next week, but I encourage you to check us out at avetproject.org. Lower left corner, click on the Facebook icon. Even if you're not a member of Facebook, you'll be able to scan and look at everything that's happening. We appreciate you joining us this week on American Warrior Radio. And as always, Glenn,
don't forget, think of that.